Everything you need to know about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Gypsy Rose Blanchard was a victim of one of the most extreme cases of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a mental disorder where a caregiver, in this case, her mother Dee Dee, fabricates or induces illness in someone under their care. For years, Dee Dee convinced everyone that Gypsy was severely ill, subjecting her to unnecessary medications and surgeries. Gypsy was made to believe she had leukemia, muscular dystrophy, epilepsy, and more, despite being perfectly healthy. Severe Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Dee Dee convinced many doctors and others that Gypsy was seriously ill, although she was actually healthy. In reality, Gypsy was a healthy child and teenager. The medical treatments and procedures she underwent were unnecessary and harmful, resulting from her mother's deception. Falsified medical history. Dee Dee claimed Gypsy had a range of severe medical conditions. Gypsy Rose Blanchard did not actually have any of the diseases that her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, claimed she had. Dee Dee fabricated these illnesses to gain attention and sympathy as part of her Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Some of the falsely claimed diseases and conditions include leukemia. Dee Dee claimed Gypsy had leukemia, a type of cancer that affects blood and bone marrow. Muscular dystrophy. Dee Dee asserted that Gypsy had muscular dystrophy, a group of diseases that cause progressive weakness and loss of muscle mass. Epilepsy. Dee Dee said Gypsy suffered from epilepsy, a neurological disorder marked by recurrent seizures. Vision and hearing impairments. Dee Dee claimed Gypsy was visually and hearing impaired. Asthma. Gypsy was said to have severe asthma. Brain damage. Dee Dee purported that Gypsy had brain damage which caused developmental delays. Digestive issues. Dee Dee had doctors insert a feeding tube, claiming Gypsy had digestive issues that prevented her from eating normally. Gypsy was subjected to unnecessary medications and surgeries due to these false claims. False age claim. Dee Dee misrepresented Gypsy's age, often claiming she was much younger than she actually was. For example, Gypsy was 19 when Dee Dee was still saying she was 15. Imprisonment in plain sight. Dee Dee kept Gypsy in a wheelchair, even though she could walk, and made her use a feeding tube, though she could eat normally. Dee Dee also kept Gypsy's head shaved to make her look sicker. Online romance and murder plot. Gypsy met Nicholas Godejohn online, and they developed a romantic relationship. Godejohn, who had a history of mental illness, agreed to help Gypsy escape her mother's control. They plotted Dee Dee's murder together, which culminated in Godejohn stabbing Dee Dee to death in 2015. Disturbing discovery and exposure. After the murder, Gypsy and Godejohn were found in Wisconsin, and the truth about Dee Dee's abuse came to light. The investigation revealed the extent of Dee Dee's manipulation and the fabricated illnesses. Sentencing and aftermath. Gypsy Rose Blanchard was sentenced to 10 years in prison for her role in her mother's murder. Nicholas Godejohn was sentenced to life in prison. Gypsy has since expressed relief at being free from her mother's control, despite her incarceration. Gypsy's case drew significant media attention and raised awareness about Munchausen syndrome by proxy and the severe impact it can have on victims. Despite her criminal actions, many people view Gypsy as a victim who was driven to a desperate act by years of abuse and manipulation. After imprisonment, she served 85% of her 10-year sentence. Her time in Greene County Jail before her trial counted towards her time served. Since her imprisonment, Gypsy Rose Blanchard has made several efforts to rebuild her life and has experienced some notable developments. Education and self-improvement. Gypsy has focused on her education and personal growth while in prison. She has been taking classes and working towards aiming to better herself and prepare for life after her release. Media attention and advocacy. Gypsy's story has been the subject of extensive media coverage, including documentaries, TV shows, and articles. The 2017 HBO documentary, Mommy Dead and Dearest, and the Hulu series, The Act, brought widespread attention to her case, highlighting the abuse she suffered and the complex circumstances that led to the murder of her mother. Engagement. In April 2019, Gypsy became engaged to Ken, a man she met through a prison pen pal program. However, they reportedly broke off their engagement in August 2019. She has since reconnected with her former fiancé, Ken Erker, whom she also met in prison and was briefly engaged to in 2018. Parole eligibility. Gypsy is eligible for parole in 2024. Given the circumstances of her case and the public sympathy she has garnered, there is significant interest in her potential release and how she will reintegrate into society. Ongoing public interest and advocacy. Gypsy's case has sparked conversations about Munchausen syndrome by proxy, abuse, and the criminal justice system's treatment of victims of severe psychological and physical abuse. Many advocates argue for a more nuanced understanding of cases involving prolonged abuse and coercion. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's life after prison will likely continue to attract public interest, and her story serves as a powerful example of the long-term impact of abuse and the complexities of achieving justice for victims. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you believe Gypsy deserves a second chance? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more true crime stories and updates. Thanks for watching.